Hi, I'm Ginger, and I'm sharing from the Holy Bible, the King James Version. And so let's get started. It's coming from 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 1. Now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. So if you're burning with passion, then you should, and you're single, you should go ask God to bring you someone that can become your spouse, someone that has never been married before, because Romans 7:3 tells us that you get to get married once, and if you divorce, you cannot remarry unless that first spouse dies. So if you've divorced, you have to either reconcile with your first spouse or stay unmarried. Okay, so let's go on. You want to not burn with passion. If you are struggling with sexual lust, you are going to need to pray to God for strength to let you be able to have that self-control while you wait for the mate that's straight from God, as the old song goes. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence. That means let the husband have sex with his wife. Wife, first wife, not second, third, fourth, fifth. Okay, and let's find out about the woman. And likewise also the wife unto the husband. So the wife is to have sex with her husband. They are to not push the other one away. They are to fulfill that. Okay? The wife hath not power of her own body, but the husband, and likewise also the husband hath not power of his own body, but the wife. Defraud ye not one the other, except it be with consent for a time. So don't defraud each other if you are married. I mean married for the first time. Okay? If this is your first spouse, then yes, enjoy each other. Don't abstain from it unless you talk to each other and you want to fast from it, so that you can fast and pray before the living God for a couple days or whatever, or for 1 week or something. Defraud ye not one the other, except it be with consent for a time, that you may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your incontinency. So Satan can come in and cause all kinds of problems if the woman is saying, no, I don't want sex to your husband, or if the man is doing that to the wife. If you're married, you just enjoy each other, okay? If you're married for the first time. Or if your first spouse has died and you've remarried, then you can remarry. And yes, you can enjoy that. But not if your first spouse is alive. You cannot remarry. That is adultery. Read Romans 7:3 and Mark 10:11 and 12 for that. But I speak this by permission and not of commandment. So this means that you're not commanded to get married. What you could do if you decide you want to stay single, and if you're struggling with lustful thoughts or whatever like that, then ask God for help and get into the Holy Bible and get with a group of believers that could pray with you and seek after God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. Run to Him and pray, 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 pray. Get into the Holy Bible so much that you study it and ask God to really do a work in you, and tell God that you want to thirst for Him, that you do thirst for Him as the deer pants for water, and just begin to keep your mind stayed on Him, and stay away from movies that trigger those romantic thoughts or those forbidden sexual desires. Stay away from movies and books and YouTube videos like that. For I would that all men were even as I myself, but every man hath his proper gift of God, one after this manner and another after that. I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I. So Paul wanted them to know that there's troubles in marriage. So he encouraged people to stay single if they could. But if they can't, and they're burning with passion, then ask God for the mate that is straight from Him, that hasn't been married before and just gotten divorced because of whatever. Get somebody that hasn't been married before. Unless that person's spouse had died, then it's okay. But if they cannot contain, let them marry. For it is better to marry than to burn. It's better to marry than to burn with passion. And it's better to marry than to burn in hell. If you're going to be getting into pornography you could go to hell. If you practice that, you could go to hell. If you masturbate, that's fornication with yourself. Don't do it, because when people do that, what do? They think forbidden sexual desires. And unto the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord, let not the wife depart from her husband. But, and if she depart, let her remain unmarried, or be reconciled to her husband, and let not the husband put away his wife. That's why I was saying that if you've been married, you have to stay married. You have to if you divorce that first one, you have to reconcile to them or stay unmarried. Or if the first spouse dies, you can remarry. But don't go get remarried if your first spouse is still alive, because that is adultery. And read 1 Corinthians 6:9, what happens to adulterers. They don't inherit the kingdom of God. Thank you for listening. God bless all who seek after God with all their heart, mind, soul, and strength.